I'm simply arguing, as I always say in the books, this is what seems to me the most likely view, but it's all speculation. In the beginning of one of my books, I say if somebody complains that this is speculation, let me congratulate him on his grasp of the obvious. We cannot know this stuff, and a historian is always, like Collingwood said, assembling a kind of a gestalt to impose on the evidence to see if it fits the vision of the past he has sort of conjured from looking at the evidence. It's the hermeneutical circle kind of thing that Bultmann and Heidegger talk about, but it's exactly what Bultmann says about the New Testament. You approach it with questions, and you find that the data does or does not address them, and so you revise your questions if they don't. That's why, like, among people that do believe there was a historical Jesus, that's about where it stops. Who or what was he? Was he an early feminist? Was he a vegetarian? Was he a socialist? Was he a community organizer? Was he a Hasidic magician? Was he a liberal Pharisee? But there's no agreement. And why is that? Well, because everybody is coming up with what seems to them a likely paradigm, and it's not like there's some sort of orthodoxy to be imposed. I don't think it's desirable that everybody come to agreement about this. And in fact, I always say, well, actually about atheism, but the same is true here, it is of no interest to me whether any individual converts to mythicism as if, I'm accepting the no Jesus as my personal savior. I could not care less. It's just none of my business. Why should I care? But historians don't dogmatize if they know what they're doing. It's just a question of exploring alternative possible paradigms. I make the case, I try to explain what I think. In fact, I'm working on a book now called Bart Ehrman Interpreted, and I ran this by Bart before I started it and explained the rationale. I'm not trying to refute him, but I'm trying to clarify things. And I think often these debates can get no farther than that because you cannot prove it. And one last thing, suppose tomorrow someone were to dig up a papyrus scrap of a letter in Egypt where some traveling businessman wrote home to his wife, and we do have such letters, and said, oh, I happen to hear the wise man Jesus, and he's an impressive man. Suppose we found that, and there was no question about the age of it, that would be enough to drive the stake through the heart of mythicism right there. And it may happen. This is not a dogma. And so I've just been trying to contrast our views. I don't think Bart's view is not viable. I hope nobody takes me to be saying that. It's just an exchange of different opinions and reasons we hold them.